Oh, super slow mouse. Come on down there. Get on down there, Lara. There we go. Right. What's going on, John?
Not shit, buddy. Well, it's crack-a-lacking.
Not shit. Where's our camera? What's going on here?
It says we're live, though, don't it?
Ooh, says we're live with an excellent connection.
Well, maybe it's just lagging.
Maybe. Hey. Why are you being like that?
Wanna be like Mike.
Oh my God. Welcome back to 1984.
Right.
What are you doing?
Well, I mean, hey.
There we go.
I'll say if it says we're running, we're running. You know what I mean, what can you say?
Right. So,
You know, something that I noticed on my drive here. It's not a long drive. No, just respectable little 15, 16 minutes. It's not too bad. The last 2 or 3 minutes of my drive, I was doing some pondering. Never been, like, accused of being the smartest guy in the room or anything.
I have, and that's a scary thing.
But let me go ahead and say that I've never stopped like an hour away from the river to get my live bait. I don't understand the bait shop in downtown fucking Pocatalico.
Oh,
You know, that's just me. I don't get it. There's nothing even close. The closest fucking thing here is Rollins Lake and Elk Fork, and that's still 20 minutes away.
to the contrary, sir. Hang on, I think we're going to have to stop and restart. Something weird here. Let's see if that fixes it. All right. Let's see what we're getting. Curtain bit rate is lower than... I don't understand. Because I got my own server on.
Okay, Hillary.
I'm saying. All right, we're good.
Got
Looks
your own
like we're at
private
least
server
trying to
now.
run. Yeah, I got a private server. But anyway, you were talking about why is there a bait shop. Listen.
Well, I mean, in his defense, it doesn't say, like, fishing bait. You know, it could be cougar bait.
No, dude. No, dude. See, and you're a fishing man. So let's discuss what there is to fish around here. The Poker River, while it's not the widest river in the world, it's some really good muskie fishing. And if the mindset of the public is that we want to bring in things like a kayak ride, a kayak launch, start bringing things like that to the Poker River because there's good fishing in the Poker River. Not in your immediate vicinity, but if you go down the road and turn up Poker River Road and go find you a nice spot, a nice deep spot, dude, there's some good fishing on Poker River. Some good catfishing. Some good, there's muskie in there. I didn't know that growing up. I used to swim in there.
Well, the muskie don't want nothing to do with your stinking ass. They don't want nothing to do with us.
Saying, like, but
They don't want nothing to do with us. They see us jump in the water, they're like, oh, there goes the neighborhood. Here goes your freaking skinfish or whatever.
Right. But no, there's good fishing. And so, you know what? To open a bait shop out here is good because I have a turtle and it eats worms, you know. So, and if you're getting ready to go fishing at Rollins Lake or Woodrum's and you pop off the exit there and you stop at that gas station, there being a good bait shop, the exit before Woodrum's is as good as or two exits before Woodrum's is as good as there being a bait shop off of Woodrum's. It's the closest one.
I mean, yeah, touche.
He put it in a good enough location that if you're not fishing the immediate area, but you're just on your way, it's a worthwhile stop. But if you want to fish the immediate area, man, there's fishing here.
I mean, you know, yeah, I see it. It's just one of those businesses that I don't picture being open next year. I don't think that there is a plethora of fishermen.
And the crazy thing is, yeah, he's legit.
Well, cool. I hope he does well, but this seems odd to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
So also, I mean, you know, today is probably the earliest in any election cycle that I've ever seen a candidate, Republican or Democrat, like completely and utterly ruin their presidential campaign.
Whoa, did I miss something?
You probably didn't. I'm just wording it in a way that you don't understand who I'm talking about.
Oh, Mike Pence.
There's only one
Mike Pence
candidate that has literally...
If anybody did it better than Mike Pence, please inform me. Because
how do you do that any better?
Did a good job.
How do you do that any better?
Like,
look, you couldn't have said, I no longer want to be president, or it is not my concern. Like, I don't hear the difference.
You know that scene in Goodfellas where he shoots him out of the car?
Yeah.
I mean, that's how good Mike Pence did it. It was that clean.
Like, whoa.
That's not my concern.
American cities is not your concern? And then you said it again.
Ukraine needs money. Ukraine. Oh, dude. What? I mean, I'm sorry, but we've gotten to a point where I'm just like, what the WTF, man? I mean, just look, man, they find cocaine in your house or my house. It's pretty cut and dried. Now, having said that, if they find cocaine in a military barracks, if you walked into a military barracks and the drill sergeant found, right, okay, so our military barracks was 4 rooms and a center hall that went off in each room. The room, per se, would be the platoon, right? And you had 2 floors. So when you came in, we were like immediately to the left, and when you went to the left, there was the DI's office in the big-ass room. You know, and then there was a room that connected that room to the other room where we would gather for usually when they wanted to beat the shit out of us.
Indoor PT?
Yeah. And then, but so if you went into a military barracks and went to the very center of that middle figure, right dead in the middle, measured it off, and placed a tiny baggie of cocaine right there and walked away. Promise you, everybody in that building would be up for a drug test. Everybody. And that's about 500 people.
Touche. That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's about 500 people.
What doesn't make sense? What doesn't make sense is one of the, if not the most powerful law enforcement agency in the land Not the CIA, not the FBI. No. The Secret Service is probably one of the most powerful when it comes to protecting our president. They have one of the most important jobs. And the only thing you can come up with is, I don't know.
And here's the thing, and you know what?
We don't know.
I don't care, and I do, because, I don't care if it was cocaine or a chemical agent. Somebody managed to get an illegal white powdered substance onto White House property, inside of the West Wing, near the Oval Office. Not only did you let that get in, you can't figure out how it got there through any amount of investigation. This is scary. This is scary. Like
it's not scary. There's nothing scary about it.
Because when our president choice gets in office,
if you
these are the
already
people
know,
protecting him. This is scary.
Dude, if President Biden, to me, is a complete and utter failure as a president, but he's not stupid. He knows that this country is onto him about his son and about Burisma and about all his shady dealings. This one right here, bro, if I'm fucking Joe, I'm like, look, all right, guys, it's getting a little too obvious. Somebody's got to go down for this coke. Somebody got to take the hit.
I mean, Wilson.
And it's going to be a third level staffer that's like a fucking gopher for the press secretary or something.
You know what?
Like it's mine.
Use some low-level CIA agent.
You cannot say I don't know when it comes to finding drugs in the White House.
Use some low-level CIA agent. Use his face. Claim he was a construction worker, and then give him a job sitting somewhere in like Bermuda, chilling out where nobody will know him ever, and call it a day. Or just admit it. Just say it. Just say it. Because I'm jealous. Because this is the most likely scenario. Hunter met some cute little waitress.
We already talked about it.
Just admit it. Just admit it.
But it doesn't matter what the scenario is. I don't fucking care whose drugs it is. I don't care whose drugs it is. You found drugs in our White House, and your answer is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Unacceptable. I don't fucking, nothing else matters to me.
Right.
I don't care. I mean, it wouldn't matter if it was Hunter's or Joe's or the fucking Secret Service guy that was taking it to his kid. I don't fucking care whose it is. It would not have mattered to me whose it was. I wouldn't give a fuck. But you're going to sit here and tell me the Secret Service official answer is, I don't know. That's unreal.
That's just unacceptable.
It's unreal. Completely unreal.
You're going to do this to me. Yeah, that's ridiculous.
And it's visible. Our economy has degraded. The suicide rate has jumped. Public
speaking
safety,
of
order and crime have exponentially increased. And yet, your concern is that the Ukrainians, a country most people can't find on a map, who've received tens of billions of U.S. tax dollars, don't have enough tanks. I think it's a fair question to ask, like, where's the concern for the United
that
States?
list of things that Russia said they destroyed.
Tucker, I've heard that routine from you before, but that's not my concern. I'm running for president of the United States because I think this country's in a lot of trouble. I think Joe Biden has weakened America at home and abroad. And as president of the United States, we're going to restore law and order in our cities. We're going to secure our border. We're going to get this economy moving.
Nobody trusts you,
We're going to
dude.
make sure that we have men
Nobody trusts
on
you.
our courts at every level that will stand for the right to life and defend all
just
the
go away
God-given
now.
liberties enshrined.
I'd rather watch the volcano in Iceland, which Yeah, the volcano in Iceland, if you haven't been following this. And there was an earthquake in Alaska, 9.3 miles deep, 7.4 on the Richter scale. They don't know if they're expecting a tsunami or not yet.
Guess we'll find out tomorrow. We'll wake up and Hawaii's gone.
Yeah. You know what? Hawaii's been hit with tsunamis before. They're diligent. They just... Yeah, but they got 500 people to interrogate over that cocaine. You can't give polygraphs, drug tests to 500 people, because I know the United States military random drug testing every day between them and the government. 500 people's a joke. That's like two racks.
Right. Yeah, they could have, but that would have been a waste of time. It doesn't matter. I don't, even lie to me at this point. Lie to me.
Just lie to me. Just don't tell me. That's some shit my kid tells me
Bro,
when I ask him what he's doing in the bathroom.
I'm already at an extreme low point when it comes to trust of my government. So, like, this doesn't help things.
Man, they're just straight. But, and I can't say anything's going to get done because we know nothing ever gets done. But at least you're seeing, like, the House committee starting to. You see the House committee starting to come down a little bit more on them. Like they're starting, you know, that's contempt. You're lying. You can't, you're coming in here. That's not what you told us last time. You know, my favorite is the answer should be no. You can't tell us no. Did you see where they're actually bringing charges on Ray Epps?
Yeah, I seen that.
And he's mad. He's mad.
He filed a lawsuit against Donald Trump.
Yeah, because we found him.
Tucker.
Yeah, because we found him. That's what the lawsuit's over.
Yeah, because Tucker put his name in the news, and that's why there's charges being filed. Oh, well. Cool.
So you've been following the Ukraine story this week?
No, I really haven't, dude. You know what I mean?
All right,
like,
so a lot of big steps.
What I have been following is the CPAC this weekend.
I haven't been following that, so you can fill in on that. So they've decided, or at least the way I understand it, the U.S. has decided that Ukraine should be allowed to join NATO. Yeah. So
No.
yeah, that's what the U.S. is. Yes.
No, Joe Biden is adamantly opposed to Ukraine joining the
Well,
NATO.
somebody has decided that it's okay for Ukraine to join NATO.
Okay,
Hang
it's
on.
not somebody. It has to be the president.
Hang on.
Everybody it has to be a unanimous vote into NATO.
I watched too many videos.
Be one of the two application steps. This doesn't necessarily mean Ukraine will be admitted to NATO soon, but it significantly moves up the timeline. The process to be skipped is called MAP, or Membership Action Plan. It's more or less a checklist of what NATO wants from a member state. Sweden, Norway, Finland, they also are applying for NATO, but they don't get to skip this step. Practically, this means that NATO and the U.S. will step into leadership roles in Ukraine's war effort, because this establishes a new Ukraine-NATO Council. The first meeting will be held tomorrow, Wednesday, and will be attended by Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky, who had previously threatened not to show up if he was not given significant promises to gain entrance into NATO. Now, joining me to discuss what this means and if it is in fact an escalation for the war.
So they're trying to get in a position where they can join NATO. But here's the thing. So, without the action plan. So this is where I was like, what's that mean? Right? So here are the steps to joining NATO, as per Google. Hey Google, what are the steps to join NATO? 1, a session. You come in your little green shirt and you talk to them about it. Hey, I want to join NATO. Come on, phone. You're not being a very good piece of equipment. Okay, so 1 is a session, talks. Number 2, letters of intent with timetables of completion of reforms. Okay, so that's me saying, I'd like to join NATO. I understand that I don't meet these qualifications, but this is a timetable of which I will meet those qualifications. So it's promises. Okay, with, timetables. So it's like China. Yeah, we'll lay off the carbon by 2040. Yeah, 2040. We'll be down on coal production by 2040. That's a long time. That's a timetable. We're working on it. Look at us. Number 3 is the agreement signed, and then ratification. And then they have to accede to the North Atlantic Treaty and sign it. And then they're official members of NATO. So he gets to skip the timetables with completion of reform, which means he gets to get, if they let him skip that, and I might be an idiot, if anybody ever watches this, they could pop up and be like, no, but I feel like allowing him to skip that step allows him to not explain how long he plans on being at war with Russia. You know what I mean? Because if he joins NATO while at war with Russia, then NATO has to...
But, all right, let me stop you there. We can finish this conversation in a minute, of course. But this is not Ukraine's war. Ukraine didn't start this. Ukraine can't end this. Only Russia can end this war. And the only way that Russia's going to end this war is if we back the fuck off. It's not rocket science. It's not even like, oh, it's a political thing. It's not for the layperson to understand. It's very simple. Russia wants no part of NATO. They want to be left the fuck alone. Russia is the only thing, between Russia and China, are probably the only 2 superpowers in this world that are standing in the way of this new world order that they want.
I understand. Yeah.
Ukraine is never getting into NATO. Never. Because the next Republican president is going to make sure that happens.
Well, the Bulgarian president, which if he's saying it, then, ideals spread amongst men at a table before somebody grows the balls to say it. Nobody says it until it's been checked in a couple corners first to see how
what
crazy
the reaction will be.
Yeah. So the Bulgarian president is straight up, this is music. Yeah, it's music, it's silent. But see, so here's the thing. While we know, I feel like while we know deep in our hearts that this is us stepping in and NATO countries stepping in and being like, we'll take care of this with you, buddy, is what's really going on. But other countries have tried to step in and have talks. And we've scurried them off. No, you get out of here. And Zelensky's let them do it. So now they blame Ukraine. It's a complex situation. And I digress. Who's to say it's not all one big plan? Like they sit in the corner like, all right, listen, here's what we're going to do.
I mean,
So, but Russia threatened to start using cluster bombs. Somebody said
they've already been using them. That's the reason why we're providing them to Ukraine.
oh, well then, all is fair in love and war.
You know what I mean? Out of the 30-some NATO nations, like 29 of them have refused and signed a treaty that says they will no longer use those ammunitions.
I feel bad for the guy that we serve one of them to. And those guys over there. And those guys back over there too. Oh, and that dude over there that's in the toilet has no idea what's going on, like 40 yards over there. I feel bad for that guy too.
Well, I mean,
It's really a sexy thing to watch. To see a CB unit, U unit go off. Like
dude, if you want to witness, and you can probably find it on YouTube if you want to show a few minutes of the clip. If you want to see what's quite possibly our next president, then you should Google
Ramaswamy?
Tucker Carlson and Ramaswamy at the CPAC or the Turning Point CPAC this week. First 5 minutes.
I listened to about an hour of him on Benny Johnson the other night. And I find it interesting because, you know, he's being well taken. Like, you know, like there's going to be no loyalties in this race. It's going to be the best man win. And I kind of like seeing that.
Well, you know,
but,
there's plenty of loyalties.
Yeah.
You know, these Republican primaries, if Donald Trump wins, then anybody else standing on that stage, with the exception of Chris Christie, because Donald Trump just hates his fat ass.
You really know?
Anybody else on that stage that makes a decent showing in the Republican primary, I'd say there's like 12 people running for Republican primary right now. The top 6 or 7 of those people are going to get cabinet positions, whoever wins. So there is loyalty. They know what they're doing.
Oh, look at this. Two of my favorite things in one video. A-10s dropping cluster bomb units. You see those 2 tanks parked over there? Well, he missed. That's about 100 yards. It's impressive stuff, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is.
I just love the equipment. Like I said, like our first episode, I said, forget who's playing the game. I just want to see what equipment they're using.
They opened in midair, dispensing hundreds of submunitions, or bombs, over an area roughly the size of a football field, and causing immense destruction. Submunitions often fail to explode on impact, and thus pose a serious threat to civilian
There's
populations,
just a problem.
especially children.
It's very honest. I like the fact he said it like that. Yeah, I like the fact he put that in there at the end, because that's a serious conversation point. I could watch this all day. I can just put this on repeat.
It's not that impressive.
I used to love the bomb range. going to watch the bombs drop. That was about the best part
Some
of
of this
being
stuff's
orbital.
cool, but like I get bored real easy watching some of this stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I watch it though, and I'm on to something else real quickly. Speaking of which, you know, dude, like the best thing that I've watched in the past 2 weeks is a couple of those episodes of Unsubscribe.
Yeah.
For turning me on to that, because that's a good podcast.
Is it not?
Yeah, that's a good podcast.
Well, I watch a lot of modern weapons videos, man, because I mean,
But yeah, dude, there's a 14-minute clip. I think the whole interview is about 25 minutes long, but there's a 14-minute clip on YouTube, the Tucker Carlson and Ramaswamy.
yes.
And in the first 3 minutes, he says, it's very similar to Donald Trump. He's like, I'm not going to say, like, I'm Donald Trump and I could end this war in 24 hours. He's like, but I could have it over in 3 to 5 days. And Tucker's like, how would you do that? And he's like, very simple. Period, the end. Sorry, Ukraine. You got invaded. You lost this area. Boom. The Donbass region is gone. That's Russia's now. And when you do that, you tell Russia that you make Ukraine sign a 25-year pledge not to join NATO. And when Ukraine signs that 25-year pledge, you tell Russia to get their troops out of Venezuela and Cuba. He said, Russia gets what they want, we get what we want. Period, the end. Ukraine is Russia. They speak Russian.
True.
If you have to give up some of that territory, the Donbass region, overwhelmingly, 90% of the population that voted in that election voted to be taken back into Russia. They want to be Russia.
Yeah, they don't
want to be Ukraine.
No, they didn't. They didn't want
Leave
this
them the
bullshit
fuck
to
alone.
start with.
The only reason why Ukraine is insistent upon keeping that area is because of access to the Black Sea. So they can get their wheat out. That's it. Period, the end. He's like, I could end this in a couple days.
Right. Right.
Right. We get what we want. They get what they want.
No, I've been listening to him, and he's definitely right.
You know, he's like, immediately. He's like, if it's not laid out in the Constitution, it's gone. No federal IRS. No federal Department of Education.
You said the FBI gone.
Well, he's like, the FBI is a necessary tool.
No, yeah,
He
but
said he's going to rebuild it from the ground up.
It's also a executive order.
Yeah, but it's the FBI is a very necessary crime-fighting tool.
Could
They
their
have very
jobs
good-
not be? Could what they do not be spread up amongst a bigger U.S. Marshal,
The
a
FBI,
bigger Secret Service?
the FBI, the ATF, the Secret Service, all that could be bundled up into one.
What does FBI do that you could not be fixed with an expansion of the Secret Service and the U.S. Marshals?
Nothing.
I mean, you still need these
But you
police.
still need people.
They do things that you still need. They do things that you still need investigated.
I mean, it's
And they
you know, it's the Federal Bureau of Investigation.
They have
a
secret
necessary role,
they have secret powers.
but
They do. Like, it's a good thing because they're able to use them. But yeah, they have.
yeah, they have a necessary role. They don't. They are definitely have become an enforcement arm of the left. So that's what you got to get rid of.
That's definitely.
And I think you probably got, you know, if there's 50,000 FBI agents, you probably got like 30,000 good ones.
Did you see where the FBI?
You know, the top half is probably
It's who you have in key places, and I'm sure it took
the people
years.
on the ground that are working and doing their job. Those are good guys.
I'm sorry, but I'm a conspiracy theorist, and I think it took years to get these key people in particular mindsets and in key places. Like, I really do. I think it took a lot of years to get this empire to where it needs to be.
Maybe. And
I mean, did you see where they pressed charges on that whistleblower? The Biden whistleblower? What the fuck? They got the FTX guy the day before he went in before Congress. Like, it seems like these things alone can just be put in a basket and be like, hey, guys.
And, dude, they know that. And Donald Trump knows that. Look, Donald Trump's a lot of things, but stupid's not one of them.
Do that.
Dude, he knows that. Did you see his most recent announcement?
No.
If you want revenge against your government, I'm the one to elect. I will get revenge on an out-of-control government. That's like something he said at a rally or something. I don't know where he said it, but it was quoted that he said that. And I'm like, you know what? That's like too much truth there. But, dude, back to the point, though. Because Ramaswamy went from like 4% in the polls before this past week to like 26%. He's right behind DeSantis.
Yes, he is.
He jumped. So a couple more good showings like that. Like there's a Republican debate coming up in like a month.
I don't feel like DeSantis really has a chance. I'm sorry.
Me either.
I mean, even the anti-Trumpers see him as a Wish.com Trump. Even the anti-Trumpers, and this is a problem for you, DeSantis. This is an issue, a big issue. Like, even the anti-Trumpers are like, he's just like swamp-friendly Trump. Dude, the LGBTQ, we talked about it last week, dude. The ad, the DeSantis ad. Was that supposed to hurt Donald Trump? Was it?
I hope it wasn't intended to that.
Because it looked like it was hurting DeSantis.
It looked like it was helping Donald.
I'm a straight white male, and I feel like this is I never understood what the word meant until I watched that video, and I was like, oh, this is that stereotype they think we are.
Well, it's just like, that's just what people are looking for, ways to be offended. And that's the thing that we got to get away from.
Right.
You know, it's like my daughter.
I think
I'm not going to mention any names or anything like that. My daughter got her first job. And she works with these two other females who happen to be sisters. And they're also black. And my daughter makes a comment the other day, like, y'all look so much alike. And the one sister was like, oh, it's because we're black. And Abigail was like, no, it's because you're sisters. Oh, whatever. It's probably because. So, you know, you're just looking for a reason. The very first thing you thought of.
Waiting for this moment.
You've been waiting for this moment to pull that word, use that card. And you used it. And then you got put back in your place by a 16-year-old. Because at least she didn't say, oh, yeah.
She didn't know nothing about her. You don't know who her family is. You don't know.
No, she come back just as quick as they said that. No, it's because you're sisters. If you want to find a reason to be offended, you can find a reason.
Yeah.
It's just like if you want to find a reason to hate this country, you can find a reason. You want to find a reason to hate the city, state, county, you can find a reason. If you want to love it, you can find reasons too. At every level. No different.
Right.
The only real difference is, dude, like this city that we live in right now, or that I live in, is being run by Democrats. And it's like in the best shape it's been in years. And that's weird. Because Democrats on the national level scare the shit out of me.
I mean,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand how that works. It seems like Democrats on a local level aren't as left as Democrats on a national level.
But I see the flip side to it too, and it's not because I have a downward outlook. It's that I drive around all day, all over the place. And, you know, ask me how many people I see handing out flowers. Because, I mean, what I see driving around all day long is, dude, there's homeless people everywhere. Everywhere.
Okay,
I've even learned to recognize their different sign tactics.
that's not
Like,
even.
There's-
That's not unique to Charleston.
it's not. But
every city.
we're not a big city.
That's every city, though. It doesn't matter the size. Homelessness affects everybody.
You know, but and they're people. I realize that. But something has to be done. And I don't mean that on any bad level. I mean that on a level of, and we talk about this stuff all the time, medical care, mental health care. Dude, mental health care needs to be a thing. Some of these people are just crazy and want to be homeless. I don't know how you deal with that. But if you just knocked it down to those people who need homes, you find them homes. You know, the people who need help, you find them help. The people who want to get a better situation, there has to be a way.
There is.
Find these, but we got to just start plucking them off
And
the
that's the
street.
thing. The people that don't want to be homeless aren't homeless for a very long time.
Okay.
They very quickly realize that you don't need income to get an apartment. You need income to get out of that shithole apartment that they put you in, but you're going to have a roof over your head, and you're going to get $200 a month in food stamps.
Right.
The people that don't want to be homeless aren't homeless. They might sleep in their car, they might sleep under a bridge a week or two. If they really, truly don't want to be homeless, there are programs in this city to help you transition from homelessness.
We can't.
Hold on, let me finish.
Go ahead.
Right after Elon Musk bought Twitter, right after his $44 billion check cleared, there was an exchange on Twitter. I immediately followed Elon Musk right after he bought Twitter. There was an exchange on Twitter. It said $44 billion for Twitter, $6 billion or something like that to cure homelessness in this country. And so Elon Musk replied back to that person and said, come up with a comprehensive plan to end homelessness and I'll write you a check. Fucking crickets. Fucking crickets. You literally had the richest man in the world offering to solve homelessness with cash. And you can't come up with a plan. You can't. 99.9999% of all homelessness are drug addicted or mentally ill.
Right.
Period. The end. It doesn't matter what city you go to. It doesn't matter what you do. Some people just want to be homeless. Some people don't want this responsibility in their life. Some people get, a good portion of these homeless that we're talking about get disability checks. That they get paid and they're content.
Then give them Thurmond.
They don't, I say,
Give them Thurmond.
you give them a portion of town that is theirs. They can, of course, city police still has authority there, but at least you can camp here and you can be homeless here. Right here. Of course, you're free to move about the city. But this is where your tent and your trash and your basket that you push, no. This is where it all stays. I don't know if that's a solution or not. But there's no amount of money in the world that is going to solve homelessness. So for anybody, not just you, anybody to kind of blame homelessness on the politicians that run that city, with the exception of the far left liberals that we know about. Nancy Pelosi's district is full of homelessness, and it's because of the policies that she votes on.
Well, a good example
That's my point.
But a good example of that is, okay, so what did I always used to say? And I'll be an asshole and have this conversation. What did I always used to say when you were cooking buffets with me and we were putting plates out?
I mean, you used to say a lot.
Feed them.
Justimisms was a real thing.
Feed them. Don't fatten them.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so
But there's not a homeless person out there that's dying of starvation.
no, Lord, no.
They're eating good.
We got 8 churches in Charleston, all of them feeding every day.
Yeah. Absolutely. And we have three interstates that come from 3 major cities that lead right to fucking Charleston. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Columbus. Right here. Interstate straight fucking here. You know?
Yep.
It is what it is.
Dude, the park by the Clay Center,
The point is,
and that's what's
When
going to get it cleaned up.
when you stop looking at the homelessness and you start looking at the other things, the city of Charleston is becoming a very beautiful city.
It is.
And I don't see the homelessness, although I still the signs I fucking see. This dude needs a job.
The one that says "too ugly for porn."
Yeah, there's another one. What is the other one? $2.50 for bus fare.
Yeah.
I'm like, I wonder how many bus fares he's gotten today. I seen like 3 cars giving bus fare right here. This traffic light, like this turn to the traffic. You know what I'm saying? Like you done made out. My favorite one is when they're tag team in the corner, and you got one here and you got one here, and they're getting both directions.
I was coming over the bridge. This is the I was coming over the bridge, and there's a guy sitting there in a wheelchair holding a sign. And this guy comes up out from under the bridge, and the guy in the wheelchair holds him the sign and gets up. And the guy takes the sign and sits down in the wheelchair and starts holding the sign. And I'm just like, is there a sewer king? Like on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Is there like a head guy? He lives down a tunnel somewhere, and they all got to bring their contributions every day?
And the thing is, you know, they can't pass a law against panhandling because if people would stop giving them money, then they would stop panhandling. But they're not going to stop if people keep giving them money. But you can't make a law against it.
Can you make a law that says no panhandling on anything bigger than a 2-lane highway? Or anything bigger than a 2-lane street? Like, could you put restrictions on it? No, I'm good. I feel like that's a legit question. Like, you know.
Probably not. Like,
I guess not. Because,
No.
man.
because dude, you don't like the panhandlers.
Can we make them fight for Pennsylvania Avenue?
The panhandlers never get shit from me, ever. I see people giving bottled water. Nope, no, man. Sorry, not me. True homeless people don't stand on the street corner and panhandle. They're the ones you see at the soup kitchens. They're the ones that are just trying to get through life. Those panhandlers are heroin addicts or whatever the fuck's going around on these streets. They're using that money for drugs and alcohol, and they're passing out on Magic Island. Because, dude, sometimes I go down there and go for a run early in the morning, and I see 4 or 5 of them laid up on the beach down there under the bridge. There's a little sandbar on the Canal River there. See them all passed out over there. So, I mean, dude, like I said, you can find it. You can find the blight. You can find the negativity. Just about anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
But
Oh, yeah. It's
overall, the city of Charleston's looking good, man. It's like, you know.
I'm about to move closer to Charleston. Much closer to Charleston.
Yeah, as soon as we get off air, off the stream, I was going to ask you how that's coming along for you.
Well, we still ain't talked to anybody in the actual location where we're going. Apparently there's somebody having some kind of a possible medical problem. But
Oh, you mean like a park manager is having an issue?
yeah. So as soon as I get through with that, which, you know, got some other stuff going on we'll talk about off air. But it's all, as I say, it's a clusterfuck.
Yeah, all you can do is keep packing shit until the day comes when it's time to figure it out.
I'm going at it real slow. I was actually going to break this down. I was thinking next week's episode might be in a A little different setting, but we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. I'm making everything work. But, yeah. So this year, if America spends $1 trillion, what will it cover?
As far as what?
The national debt.
1 trillion? Like the national debt's like 30 fucking trillion.
No. It's went up 26 billion just in this presidency. 1 trillion in interest in 2023 is what they have to pay. 1 trillion in interest.
Yeah.
That's according to the Fed. 1 trillion in interest. Dude.
Yo, this is a house of cards. It's just like this one card at the bottom. It's holding up this
What
whole
are they not
house.
telling us?
It's holding up this whole house.
I just want to kick the bottom of this table so bad. Dude, 1 trillion. They said they lost $6.4 billion. No,
No,
we found it. We sent it to Ukraine.
Oh,
All
no,
right.
to Russia.
Russia.
That's what we paid the Wagner Group or some shit, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wasn't it?
That was
Something
what
like
I
that.
was going to talk
I don't know if
about,
it was
too.
billion, but it was.
No, it was 6.4 billion, and it's beautiful because literally it's like I said it happened, and that just makes it funny. Monty Python should do this shit in a skit.
Right.
We call up, we're like, hey Wagner, hey Wagner Group, give you 6.4 billion if you turn on Russia. Okay, I'll do it. It literally turned right around and was like, hey Vlad.
No, it's got to be better than that. It's got to be better than that. Like,
Vlad was standing next to him.
Prigozhin's like, oh man, I'll do it for 100 million. I'll give you 6 billion. Okay. Vlad, you never know it. How many zeros is in a billion? Many. Many.
So here's what we're going to do, dude.
Prigozhin just became a new oligarch in Russia because they're all fucking dead or disappeared.
He said, so guess here's what we're going to do, Vlad. We're just going to march on your city. You tell us to leave and we'll leave. We earned our keep. We did what we were supposed to do.
And you make a press release saying how mad you are.
Yeah.
Mutiny! Or whatever it is. Treason!
Vlad got 3 billion of that.
No, not 3. Probably 2. Because they had to pay the Belarus president to be like, yeah, you can come over here, dude. But
I
yeah,
gotta find.
it's a whole new level of a shit show.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to find this. I'm trying to find this list that Russia put out on their news of what they destroyed of NATO's, and it was like you could put it to 12 Days of Christmas. You could put it on 12 Days of Christmas. It was like 20, like basically all of the the Bradleys. Basically all the Bradleys are gone.
Yeah, they announced that I saw that on the news.
Yeah, did you see that big list
Said
of
that
shit that they
I didn't
destroyed?
see the list of things, but it said Russia's laid so many mines that the tanks are almost useless.
Yeah.
They have to proceed on foot because there's too many mines.
All the Russian panzers gone. All the documenting Russian equipment losses. See, they're not giving the. But yeah, they put a list. I think it was on Redacted. They put the list on there. And They had the list actually on the screen, and it was just ridiculous. Like they basically airstriked and destroyed everything we've sent over there. And the thing is it's been the same thing since the beginning. Oh, we're kicking their ass. No, that didn't happen. You didn't see that.
Yep.
All right, man. Well, anything else from the week that's caught your attention? Like I said, I've been watching we could do a whole other hour on what's going on Capitol Hill with them just.
Thunder?
No, I think Joni's watching a movie. No, we could.
I left my windows down.
We could go a full other hour on what's going on Capitol Hill, but
Well,
but
yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of shit going on, but when I get here, I just always draw a blank, and I'm not good at taking notes. So,
I said I was taking notes.
you know, and I've made a pretty conscious effort, like this week, to not watch a lot of news.
Right.
Trying to see if that constant negativity is what's draining me. So I'm not really in the loop as much as I was. So far, it seems like I'm sleeping better
Really.
without all the negative news going on.
See, I'm just the opposite. The news drowns out some other done that I have to avoid.
Yeah,
It
understandable.
really is. I started playing.
But I have so many different hobbies that I do. I mean, between bowling and golf and fishing and
I was going to hit you up the other day and be like, man, let's go to the driving range. I mean, I ain't hit a golf ball since I worked at a country club, but just
Yeah, I mean, dude, if I'm not working, I'm usually down to go to the driving range. That's cool with me. Just hit me
yeah,
up.
I've been kind of feeling like getting out lately.
Yep, sometimes you got to, man. Like, for me especially, you know what I mean? You just got to find something to do to get out of the house and get your mind off your problems.
Well, I'm about to do that in a big level. So
You know, like, to me, I think it'd be cool if there was something like, let's say, certain levels of difficulty, of course, but there was a way that you could make like a hiking trail that's, say, 2 miles, and it's got some ups and downs, and in the valley and out the valley, you know, you make it as challenging as you can, but when you get to the top, that's when you gotta shoot your firearm.
right.
You know, something
You want
to get your heart rate up, because going to the range is cool, but everybody knows that it comes down to using your weapon. Your heart's gonna be bumping like a motherfucker.
Oh, right,
You know what I mean?
right.
Like,
It was-
just some, you know, that way you can, because you enjoy shooting your weapon and you enjoy hiking. If there was a way you could do the two together, but if you go hiking, 99% of the time you're on public land and you're very close. You might not think you are, but you're closer to houses than you think you are on a lot of hiking trails around here.
right.
You know, Canal State Forest, it seems like you're out in the woods, but you can't shoot a firearm.
Want to go to
They'll-
Scary Creek and shoot at the church kids for old time skate?
Nah, you know, that's a little too expensive for my blood anymore.
$300.
Paintballing's not,
Be $100 day.
yeah, no.
Get to hear some screams.
It's not my thing anymore. I don't
Oh
think.
no, I'll be in the house by myself. I'll do that. You're crazy. No.
But I'd be down for some cool shit like that with these new Nerf dart guns that are, you know what I mean? That might be cool.
Right. Airsoft maybe.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, that's where it's at. We got to find something to bring to Charleston that's not here, so we can stop working for the man and
Right.
working for ourselves.
Right.
An indoor airsoft, multiple, and just like a setup, just like a paintball field,
An office building.
little office building, or like, you know, what do you call it? When we see on TV a lot, the speedball ranges,
Right.
where it's really fast.
Office building, a big meeting room.
Dude, you could easily change it up.
Oh yeah.
You know, you could do anything like that. You could do active shooter drills. You could, I mean, if you had an office building situation, so you could rent your shit out to SWAT team. Like, dude, there's an infinite number of ways to bring money in. Like, you just.
I mean, let's be a smart aleck real quick, because you could go out and grid off an area with posts, like go 10 across, right? Go 10 across, and then 10 across, right? 100 posts. They'd all be 10 by 10 by 10 square, right? So now you have the ability
to change the room angles. And
just buy pieces of plywood. We'll make them 9 foot.
Yeah.
Because now you can take a piece of plywood and put holes in it and just hang it up.
Yep.
So now you can.
That's what I'm saying. But, I mean, it's simple things like that. You know what I mean? It's just
Or even use tarps.
finding the property. You find the property, that's where it's at. Because you could start with just your traditional outdoor paintball or airsoft. And then as you bring in revenue,
And on Friday, you have waiver day, which means full contact airsoft. Full contact. If you can sneak up on somebody and slam them to the ground, you're not going to beat up on anybody. That's not the game. But if you can sneak up on somebody, slam them to the ground, and say you're dead, that's legal. You can be rougher.
no, that shit that we saw on YouTube, where
Yeah,
they're all kind of decked out in some armor and you like fuck each other up,
Yeah,
that would draw in spectators.
that would.
I mean, if you had a 4-on-4 and you had like 5 or 7 4-man teams, battle to the fucking end. When you run out of darts or paintball, it's time. You better go hand to hand, motherfucker.
Right.
Everybody's decked out. You can't hurt each other, but putting somebody on the dirt, wow.
Right.
That's when they're officially dead. You know what I mean? Like, that'd be cool as shit.
Right.
Telling you shit like that, like we don't have that shit
Or
around.
have take training knives and fill them with paint.
Rage
Have
rooms.
White outfits.
The rage room would do good in downtown Charleston. You know what I mean? Go down to fucking junkyard and buy.
There's already a rage
$500.
room in downtown.
That's what I'm saying. You don't think there's room for one more?
If you could do it a little cheaper.
Or you don't have to do it a little cheaper. You just provide an awesome experience.
Right.
You know, that's what it's about. People don't give a fuck about money anymore.
Right. Forget the restaurant. Forget the bar.
I mean, well, you know, it depends what your level of rage is. Like, how fucking drunk do you need to get it?
Well, if you want to come in here and if you got sloshed in the parking lot, that ain't my business.
Right, and if you want to drink my overpriced beer, that is my business.
But if you came in here drunk, and I didn't notice, I don't sell alcohol, so I know you didn't get it here.
At home, I've already at home. Well, see, that's the thing. Is like eventually, where you branch off. You know, you don't want drunk people in there breaking glass in a rage room. Obviously not.
Obviously.
But when you bring in that type of full contact type shit, you sell beer to your spectators. You sell alcohol and snacks to your spectators.
We need to call a seat.
So you still need a liquor license. That's key. Dude, at home, I've already made 3 sandwiches at home in my book. Just like simple shit that I want to put on a menu. The fucking gyro is one of them.
Yeah.
Classic Italian sub. Can't go wrong with that.
Good Cuban.
Good Cuban.
A good Cuban.
That, man, I'm telling you, that was
And that's
good.
a key word there. A good Cuban. And I don't mean like, okay, here's the thing. A good Cuban is poor. A good Cuban is made of not of the finest ingredients.
No, a good Cuban is made from corned beef. That one of the cheapest fucking corned beef is not expensive. Like we made it with pastrami at Celsius, right?
Reuben.
No.
A Cuban, we made it with pastrami.
At Celsius, it was Pastrami. Yeah, it was pastrami.
Yes.
That's not a Cuban.
No.
A Cuban is corned beef
And ham.
and pickles and spicy brown mustard
Yeah.
or stone ground mustard.
Yeah.
That's it.
Grilled.
Yeah. It's fucking delicious.
Amazing. Amazing. And I know it's not supposed to go that way, but with that the Dijon whole corn.
The stone mustard. Oh,
Yes,
man, it's fire.
yeah.
That shit was fire.
Yeah.
I might go home and put a Cuban on my menu. But dude, there's a little building right down the road from my house that, you know, you could start with something small. You know, maybe a couple tables, maybe a small bar.
I'd love to have a sandwich shop.
Just a
man.
little sandwich shop. And that's how you start making money, to come up with these other ideas.
Right.
And this little building has been empty for years. I bet you it wouldn't cost more than $10,000 or $15,000 to buy the building. Maybe another 10 or 15 to get it renovated the way you want it to.
Are we having dine-in or?
And it won't be a lot. I think a majority of it. I mean, you're right there by the city garage, so you might have a lot of city workers. And I'd say, I open past 5 or 6 o'clock because you're a sandwich shop.
If I'm going to put a menu, I'm sorry, if I'm going to put a gyro, you've traveled, right? You've been out of town. Okay. If I'm going to put a gyro on a menu, I want a gyro like you get in D.C. and you get in Pittsburgh on like the 12-inch pita with the meat off the leg.
Well,
I want my sandwiches. Look, I
can't do that here.
Why
It's
not?
against the rules. It's a health code violation.
You can't even do it here.
That's why Best of Crete stopped doing it.
Well,
You can't cut it off the bone now because
then we're at least getting
is
the
it something
random.
to do with the flies or something?
We're at least getting the random cuts.
So,
big random
but dude, when you create a menu like that, but you're absolutely right. I don't want your traditional gyro on that little 6-inch pita, just like you get at Giovanni's or so. Dude, I want my Italian sub. It's not the 12-inch or it's not that. It's like, I want a 12-inch sub, but I want that bitch like this wide. I want a fucking sandwich. You know, you gotta hold half of it with 2 hands.
And I want it hard to hold.
It's West
I
Virginia.
want it hard to hold because I want there to be grease, hot grease,
Absolutely.
running across every
100%.
knuckle. I want there to be pleasure with your pain.
Dude, I don't even need a char grill. I just need a big flat top because everything is gonna be fucking sizzling
Greasy.
and butter and.
I don't care about your health.
Dude, your Philly cheesesteak, when you get home, the bag will be sopping.
There's a guy around the corner
Yeah.
that sells like salads with his mixed drinks. Go talk to him.
Yeah.
Here we kill. We
the Philly cheesesteak.
There's
no mushrooms.
No.
There's peppers. There's onions. There's cheese whiz.
Cheese whiz.
Just like it's supposed to be.
Right.
It's not supposed to be no white cheese on a fucking Philly, bro. That shit drives me nuts.
And then we'll have a sandwich called that bullshit you call a Philly.
Yeah, just so we can have.
No doubt.
But dude, I want like fun menu names too. Like there's like, I saw it on Cisco's website that I've already been looking at menu prices and shit. I saw it on Cisco's website. They have a 16-inch hot dog. And it has to be called the Home Wrecker. Has to be. Like fun, cool names like that. Not an Italian sub. The Italian sub has to be called Das Boot.
Okay.
Because it's shaped like the boot.
Here is my complaint about Charleston restaurants, and here's what I vow.
And
I would
instead of the
do
Euro, we'll call it the Spiro. Because it's right next door to Spiro's Auto Body Shop. We'll definitely come in and get a sandwich. Let me get the Spiro. Of course you would, motherfucker.
Here's my issue in Charleston. I've said this 100 times, and I'm still waiting for somebody to prove me wrong. Other than your authentic restaurants, which I mean, your Mexican, your restaurant, your Chinese restaurant, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now, everybody in town, and as a chef, I'm guilty, so I know. We got the best food reps in 7 states in the city of Charleston, West Virginia.
Yeah.
We really do. We always have. And go to everybody's shop, and everybody says the same thing. Listen, I don't want the cheapest thing you have, because it's going to be garbage. Well, and I can't afford to buy the most expensive things you have, so what's mid-range? And everybody gets generally the same answers. So everybody generally kind of ends up with
The same product.
the exact same products. And everywhere you go in this town, you get a Philly and it tastes the same. Except for, I like Steak Escape. Because they got their own stuff they order that's seasoned the way they make it. They got their specific buns that are bought nationwide this way. So they're not, but everybody else, man, if it's a mom and pop shop,
Yeah, because it's all about maximizing profit for them.
yeah.
For me, it wouldn't be about so much making profit as it would be as making return customers. And yes, that Italian sub is $14. I get it. I get it. But I promise you, you're only going to eat half of it now. Because it's a monster. You know what I mean? Two-handed subs. That's the kind of shit that I'm
But you
looking
have
for.
to eat all of it, because that bread is going to be a sopping mess.
Yeah, but you will. You'll end up eating it all. That's just the American way. You'll overeat until you can't eat no more.
Yeah. I would definitely put in, let's see here. You know, that's the thing. What items sell indefinitely without getting trendy? It's like a good suit, never goes out of style. You know what I mean? So, you know, you got your Philly, a real Philly.
Yeah.
You got your Cuban. You're always, you don't ever have to do anything
Rubens
with that.
and your Rachels.
Yeah. But now you've got a lot of product laying around, so now we have to make some alternate items to feed off of.
Yeah,
you know, like
you
the other
got
thing.
your turkey for your Rachel. You turn into a turkey BLT. There's your 2 turkey sandwiches right there.
Got to have a club.
You got, there's your 3. So that also will let you use the ham from the Cuban on your club.
Yeah.
So the really only thing special that you're gonna have is your gyro meat. And even then, you could throw that in some fucking spinach dip and serve it spinach dip and fucking tortilla chips.
And all of
As an
this
appetizer.
is just for my secret project, the top secret deep layer. Every night I will be working late, remaking stuff, trying to recreate Thelma's hot dog. From the little hot dog, it was a little bun, it was a little wiener, it wasn't big. And it had
not
little
about-
buns.
Look, I can guarantee you, Miss Thelma, she didn't do anything special. The only thing she did was she made everything with her own, like she made her
Right.
chili. Guarantee you her chili tasted different every time you went in there because she made it by hand. And she probably was like, little this, little that, little this. That's my problem. Dude, in my culinary career, dude, I have created some amazing meals that I could not fucking even begin to tell you how I did it.
But I can do
Because
it.
it's like, no, I can't.
I can't.
I can't. Because all of my seasonings were like, I don't measure shit.
Trade
I promise you I can make it close. It won't be exact. Everything I create is one of a kind. Because I don't fucking know. And even still, you might be giving me too much credit. Because I'm like, okay, this is the big side. Yep. Like spaghetti sauce. Dude, I can make some great spaghetti sauce. I just put the fucking diced tomatoes in the RoboCoupe and start adding shit.
See, I love making an all-day marinara.
And then I set that shit on low simmer and let it boil all fucking day. Just low simmer. And let that marinara sauce just cook. Dude, it cooks so bad, like the fucking next day, the cook is cussing me out because my pans have tomato sauce stuck to them. Because I'm gonna let that shit simmer for a day and a half. Just
I made her chicken marsala. She had never had it.
Yeah, I like it.
I love chicken marsala. It's one of
I've
my
had
favorites.
Olive Gardens, and that was like my first exposure to marsala. And then Heath showed me how to make it, and dude, that shit's fucking. I don't like mushrooms though, so
You don't like mushrooms?
not a fan.
That's right. I always forget
Not a
that.
fan. But the marsala sauce, I take the mushrooms out and pretend like they're not there, and I can eat the gravy.
The mushrooms are the best part.
I'm not.
Olive Garden serves it with some mashed potatoes, and what are you doing? What are you doing?
No, when I was there, it was
No, it wasn't Olive Garden.
like the basic spaghetti noodles
Linguine.
with your breaded chicken, and then the marsala sauce went over the chicken and over the pasta.
Where was I where they served chicken marsala with mashed potatoes? And I was like,
I mean, you could do
Charlie's.
that. Like the starch is a starch. Whether it's the pasta or the potatoes, it's no different than what's the difference between roast beef that you typically would serve with mashed potatoes and gravy and green beans or something, and open face pot roast. Nothing. The only difference is you put the mashed potatoes, or you put the beef on the mashed potatoes on an open face. And you usually serve it with a slice of bread
one
or
of
something.
those is an atrocity.
No, it's not. Open face pot roast? It's fucking...
That comes with mashed potatoes, though.
Yeah, but not always. It doesn't have to. And that's the one thing that he taught me that I'll never forget. Don't stop listening to your traditional bullshit. Nothing has to go with anything. That's the one thing. If I take anything away from that motherfucker, that's the one thing that I'll always take away from him. He was creative as fuck, bro.
That is true on a deep culinary level.
He had some personal issues that he...
But when you say that, but when you say that, I gotta be like, that's true. That's true. So I'll tell you what, like, tomorrow, go get some toast and pour some sausage gravy over it and take it out and hand it to one of the golfers and be like, biscuits and gravy.
No, that's different.
Like,
That's shit on shingles.
I feel like you're right. I feel like open face pot roast, automatically I would assume either A, I'm getting the option to choose mashed potatoes as a side, or B, there's going to be mashed potatoes under or on top of
An open face pot roast properly, if you want to stick to tradition, is a piece of bread or a biscuit. The mashed potatoes on top of the bread or biscuit, and the beef and gravy is poured over top of all of it. And then you choose your vegetable. You've already got your bread and your starch and all that in
See,
there.
I'm already untraditional because I give you a roast beef sandwich, roast beef between two pieces
But
of bread.
don't get it twisted. This open face pot roast that we are talking about is the last day. Like, I've already served roast beef, big chunks of roast beef with oven fried potato. I've already done vegetable beef soup.
So while
This is
everybody
like the
else,
third day. Like, I'm straining crumbs of beef.
while everybody else
What
is
can I make
like,
with this shit?
oh yeah,
Open face pot roast.
yeah, we'll figure this out.
It's got enough meat in it to be
Yeah,
hearty, but 99% of it is the bread and mashed potatoes. You're gonna get full on that shit.
absolutely. Either open face pot roast or a shepherd pie. One of the two's
Right.
about to go down immediately.
And dude, when I fucking first learned how to make shepherd's pie, I was like, this shit that sounds disgusting. And then you're like, fuck, why is this so good?
A good shepherd pie with lamb in it too.
Nah, I mean, like, we used to make
God.
turkey shepherd's pie at the nursing home. That shit was fucking slapping. It's like chicken pot pie, but the layer on top is mashed potatoes. It's not bread.
And you still get the
And
gravy.
it's fucking delicious because the turkey, gravy, and carrots and shit's in there. Like,
Yeah,
the fuck.
yeah. You know what I miss is old galley turkey a la king.
Dude, my favorite meal when I was in the military, by far, the MRE was chicken a la king. That shit was fucking slapping. Everybody was like, spaghetti and meatball. I'm like, fuck that shit. Chicken a la king, I'll take that shit all day.
Anything but the omelet.
And because the chicken a la king always, it's one of the only meals that I still remember in my head. It always had the crunchy peanut butter. Everything else had that slimy oily, creamy peanut butter that come in MREs.
Boy, well,
The
that's
chicken a la king had the crunchy peanut butter, and that shit was fucking.
that stuff's got the protein. It's like having an energy drink, but boy,
Oh,
when you,
dude, if you could eat the whole MRE, dude, even the Gatorade mix in there had protein in it. Like, it was like, we're gonna fuel you the fuck up, bro. This shit's got like 6,000 calories.
I drank gallons and gallons of the military bug juice Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
And then I get to my first ship assignment, like step foot onto my ship. And I'm there about 3 days, and they're like, Keys, you're on copper detail. Now on a ship, copper fittings are cleaned every so often. They oxidize fairly fast. The copper fittings you find on water mains, firefighting equipment. You know, there's copper all over the
Yeah,
place.
salt air just fucking
Right.
fires them up. So you gotta keep.
So they're like, here's you a wire brush, and here's you a bucket, and here's you a couple bags of bug juice, Kool-Aid. And I'm like, what do I do with the bug juice? And the other guy next to me laughed. He said, you're new. Come on, I'll show you. So we go up to like the galley bathroom, and he opens up the 2 packets of bug juice, and he dumps them down in the 5-gallon bucket. And he makes a slurry down in, I'm sorry, it wasn't a 5-gallon bucket. It was a glaze bucket. This was 25 years ago. It was a glaze bucket. And he sprays it down in there. And he makes almost like a thick concentrate with the powder and we go down and we go up to where I'm supposed to do this. And first we take a foxtail and we clean everything, like dust everything real good and clean it. And then he dips that wire brush down in that green bug juice and goes across this piece of copper. And I mean, it turns black. Like it just turns black. And he takes that towel, he scrubs it for a minute, and he just takes that towel and he wipes it off, and it shined like a museum piece.
Really?
And I looked at that bucket, and I looked at that, and he said, all right, here, you do it. So I go over to this next fitting, and it's green. It's tarnished. It's green. It's got some white pieces. Do what he did. I just went like that and took like a little glance, and it shined. And I scrubbed the rest of it real fast, and I wiped it off, and he was like, that's pretty cool, isn't it? And I was like, yeah. I will never drink it. This shit takes it. I bet it kills worms. I bet you're not getting any parasites.
Damn right. Shit serves more purpose than you think it.
Oh gosh, yeah. I never even to this day. I got a box of MREs in my room, dude, and I like take everything out and I'll pull that fucking Kool-Aid out and throw it aside, dude. I don't want nothing to do with it. I don't get in the ocean. What'd you learn in the Navy? I don't get in the ocean, and I don't drink MRE Kool-Aid, and I don't trust the government. That's what I got in the Navy.
I'll get in the ocean, but I'm not that guy that's like way the fuck out there. Nope, I'm standing.
Oh, yeah.
I'm standing. Like if it gets to my hips, it's because the wave just splashed. Other than that, it's like mid-thigh. I can still see my feet. Like that's...
Anything coming to get me, I'm going to see the fin. It's got to come up in the shy la 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 la.
It's really got to want me. It's really got to want me. And I promise you, I'm full of bacon and beer. I'm probably a little salty, so probably not good.
You know, a professional would call that brine.
Yeah, but, you know, pretty sure they don't want me.
Yeah, they don't want anybody. It's just a random Tuesday. Hey, look.
Yeah, they're like, hey, this looks tasty. Let's take a bite. Most of the time, they spit us right back out. But that exploratory bite is dangerous. They take your fucking leg off.
Now that I'm older and I look at people on boogie boards and surfboards, I'm like, y'all just look like fishing lures.
Dude, the first time I ever turned into a Discovery Shark Week and they showed the camera from underneath the boogie board, I'm like, never again. Never again. Look, let me tell you
That's
something.
what a fishing
Me and
lady looks
Abigail
like.
had a great time in Myrtle Beach body surfing in knees deep water. Because the wave comes, you just jump on top of it and ride it in. It's fun. That's it. That's all you're
it.
getting from me.
No.
And nope. You ain't that. No, that's not me. You do you. And I'm
I
going to.
told you, man, I took an air tour one time of the beach. Guy was like, you want to go up? It's like, yeah, I'll go. So, like, he threw me some headset. He said, climb in, man. So I took an air tour of the beach. And we're flying. And I'm looking down, and I mean, dude, I'm seeing sharks. And I mean, I'm in the sky. And I'm like, damn, that's a big shark. Damn, that's a big shark. Oh, look, I mean, those aren't big sharks, but they're pretty big. That's a big fish, you know. And there's a woman floating on an inner tube not 20 yards from where those two sharks are swimming, and that big one's heading that way. Like, I got a real glimpse of the people and the sharks just hanging out over here. Like, nobody knows they're there. They're not skimming the top of the water.
Nope.
But they're not far out. Like,
I'm saying
you got to do the spoon test.
we took a walk onto the 2nd Avenue Pier down in Myrtle Beach because our condo was really close to there. So we took a walk on the 2nd Avenue Pier, and I paid to fish for half a day or whatever. I think you could rent poles and shit. You know, you can do all that. And I dropped a lure and stuff off the end of the pier, and that was 35 foot of water. And you've been to the beach. You're not no stranger to the beach. The average pier might be 100 yards long. So within 100 yards of the shore, you're in shark-infested territory. Like 35 feet is more than enough for many creatures that will swallow you whole.
Well, if you want to know there's sharks around, you just got to do the spoon test. You got to get a metal spoon. Doesn't have to be silver. It just has to be metal. Aluminum will work. And you go down to the water, and you put it in, and you stir the water 5 times, and you pull it out, and you taste it. If it's salty, there's fucking sharks in the water. That's the spoon test.
That's wrong. That's wrong because you could be like, oh, it's not salty. Oh, there's a bull shark to just eat my liver.
Yeah, because nobody talks about bull sharks. There's been
Bull
accusations.
suckers can swim upriver.
There's been accusations of bull sharks in the canal. There's been accusations
In
of bull sharks
Ohio,
in
for sure.
Ohio.
Yep.
There's been accusations of bull sharks as far as Lake Michigan. Well, no, there's actual bull sharks as far as Lake Michigan.
Oh, I mean, they can survive.
The actual story of Jaws, the true event that made it happen, was based on a bull shark that swam up into a fishing cove. Not a great white.
Yeah, no, that's how they just made it out to be.
Yeah, because if you told people the truth in 1981 that a bull shark could come out of the ocean, swim up into your freshwater pond, and take your legs, well, swimming would be illegal by now.
Heck yeah. Yep. Well, that was an interesting departure from our norm.
Yeah, dude, we should find more things to... You're right, because I mean, I'm tired of talking politics, because it's a lot of... They're not doing anything about that.
That's what I'm saying. News, like I'll turn on
I think we live in a simulation.
I turn it on Channel 13 News in the morning because they do weather first. So 6 o'clock in the morning, the first 10 minutes is weather. Then I click off of it.
Right,
I don't really care.
right.
And I used to go from my morning news, I'd watch it for 15 minutes, switch it over to Newsmax for 30 minutes. Then I go to Sports Center for about 30 minutes. Now I've just been skipping Newsmax altogether, going straight to Sports Center.
See, I don't get into sports, but I need to start following. I was thinking the other day, I want to start following boxing again.
Sports is, for me, like I don't even have to hear it. I mean, I can stay productive, I can stay busy, it'll be on in the background. You don't really pay much attention to it. But then you're having a conversation with someone like a week later and you start like using the shit that you hear in the background in conversations.
Right.
Like, oh, that's when it starts clicking. And the next thing you know, you're fucking over here working on a project, and Sports Center's been on 9 times, and because it's just like the news. Every hour, it's the same shit. Every fucking hour for like 3-4 hours in the morning.
You know what? Speaking of Newsmax, though, I'm up. You're up. Newsmax, like at 6 o'clock in the morning. Some of the old documentaries and stuff they play.
Yeah, those are cool.
Those are cool.
Those are pretty cool.
Those are. I've seen some.
And there's another one that's like, it mixes kind of comedy with his news reporting. Comes on at 6:30 that I like. I can't remember his name. Rob Morris or something like that.
I get a kick out of Gut Peeled.
Yeah, he comes on at night, like 8-9 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he cracks me up. He's funny. Yeah, dude, I agree. Like, too much news. I feel like at some point, like, as much as I talk about, like, what's the word that I always use with the Russian propaganda, where they flood you with so much stuff all the time that you...
I think that's part of their goal.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah, I got a serious, like...
But the thing is, like, we already know, and it's surprising that the news channels haven't really changed their tactics. But the average American citizen knows that your mainstream media is not telling you anything close to the truth.
No.
They're telling you whatever their viewers want to hear. And if it's a left-leaning channel, they're going to put their spin on it. Same with the right-wing. That's the part of the reason why I started watching Newsmax.
Well, I want to rebuttal that a little bit, because I always feel like things are more intentional than that. I feel like, okay, and I've done it 100 times. Red pill or blue pill? What's the real problem here?
What does each one stand for?
Okay, whatever you want them to stand for. Red pill or blue pill? What's the real problem here? So the problem is not in the two options.
No, the problem is the person that's giving you the two options.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, I understand that.
Yeah.
I understand that. You know, like, all of our media stations are owned by the same 5 people.
Okay.
Maybe it's 6 people now.
And let me jump on the Nassara path on this. You know, the QAnon talk about Nassara and Jassara. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Not at all.
Okay, so apparently, so they believe that there's a white army with Donald Trump. I don't want to misrepresent what they believe, because I don't want to call.
Let's not give them no clout then.
It's not. I don't want to give them clout. I don't dismiss people as crazy, because they're either A, getting information that's good that we don't understand yet, or B, being psychologically manipulated on a very real level, because the information is existing.
Can we be clear that the latter is the most likely?
You have people in high positions trying to quietly back this up, and Donald Trump has never came out and been like, listen, the QAnon stuff's garbage. Like, and that should be something, because it revolves around him. That should be something that he should, if it's fake, he should be coming out and being like, listen, the QAnon's a psyop. I don't know nothing about that. My name keeps coming up. None of that stuff's. JFK Jr. isn't alive and hiding in a Hotel Hilton somewhere waiting to come back and announce he's faked his death. Like, this stuff, you know, he should be coming out and saying that. I digress. I feel like it's a play. And you can call the root of it whatever you want, but both these hands come from the same body.
Yeah. Left wing, right wing, it's all attached to one bird.
We've learned with the left, they can make us react in any manner they want. Like, we learned that. And they haven't sprung it yet, but I promise you, there's something they can do to make the good Christian people of the right react in the same manner at some point. Like, I mean, I'm beginning to see it as a show. I'm beginning to look at it as an outside spectator. You know, I'm beginning to start looking at it. I quit looking at it red and blue. I say this all the time. And we're going to have a week where we just, like, go ahead and drop the curtain and just have the whole where my theories on religion meet the theories of what's going on. And it's not revelation stuff. It's just, I look at things instead of red and blue. I'm starting to look at them black and white. Good and evil. Necessary evil. That exists too. You know what I mean? Like, there's necessary evil and there's benevolent good. This shit gets deep. There's things people do that are good for all the wrong reasons. You know what I mean? And there's people that do things that are bad for all the right reasons. You know?
Yeah, that's a fucking spectrum right there. That's a spectrum.
Yeah. Like, it's black and white, though. Party lines, the party lines are obvious because,
I mean,
literally, like, we watched, I refuse to watch The Sound of Freedom. Refuse to. Because I already know. I've been following the child trafficking thing for a couple years. The NXIVM cult was busted. Epstein Island was busted. The existence of this shit has been verified, at least in the hearts and minds of most Americans. So we know that the human trafficking thing is a thing. But I feel like watching that movie, man, at some point you're starting to desensitize yourself to things. And I just don't want to, I can't watch that. I can't watch it. I can't even watch Last House on the Left.
Well, it's not about, for me, it's not about desensitizing myself. To me, it's about, you say, whatever the name of this group, whatever.
NXIVM?
Whatever, yeah, okay. They got busted. And you say Epstein Island got busted, but they didn't.
Right.
Nothing has ever happened to this so-called black book that Ghislaine Maxwell has or had with all these people's names in it.
No.
Nothing has ever, like, and you got, here's the reason why I want to go see it. Because the story is about human trafficking, specifically child sex trafficking.
Right.
And the left come out immediately and call it QAnon conspiracy theories. Like, to me, that's a huge red flag that says I have to go see it, even if it's just for the simple reasoning of giving this man my $13.
Have you seen the people who went to see it and, like, the theater had all these issues? And
Yeah, I've seen all that shit. They're like, certain places are making it near impossible to see because they don't want it, which it's already beat. They're supposed to be number one. Indiana Jones was supposed to be number one. It's already beaten that.
Oh, and it beat
It was number one in the box office.
Yeah, there was another movie that came out, and they were like, and it's supposed to be so good because it's like a woke woman power movie, like, and then no, everybody's going to see. But you can't watch this. What better advertisement for a movie can you have other than you're not allowed to watch this?
But
we're going to turn it off.
Also, the thing is, like, it outdid Indiana Jones in its first weekend on July 4th. Okay, it outdid Indiana Jones because July 4th was on a Tuesday this year. That following weekend, that was the first official weekend or whatever. It outdid Indiana Jones, but it was only shown in half of the movie theaters that Indiana Jones was shown in.
You're mad now. Wait till that bad boy hits streaming.
Yeah. Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Because, I mean, Nefarious did the same thing.
The movie was made 3 years ago. I don't know if a lot of people have caught on to that or not yet. The movie was made 3 years ago by Fox News. And Fox News got bought by Disney, and Disney wants no part of that shit. Probably because they're in on it. Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to say that. Entertainment purposes only? Something? I don't know.
Oh boy.
Whatever.
Disney can't be in on it. They
Why not?
invented the
Why
purity
couldn't they
ring.
be? Why couldn't they be?
They invented the purity ring.
It's the most magical place on earth.
Ah,
And then, poof, people just disappear.
yeah. It's magical.
Magic.
Not all magic is good magic, John.
I didn't say it
There's
was.
bad magic.
Yeah. It's called
There's that much magic running around. There's some bad magic around there too.
Gotta be some.
No, that's horrifying, man. Like,
But,
that is.
you know, when you-
the story, the father in the beginning of this movie, like really, like, dude, I'll go see it with you. We don't talk about the other one crying, all right?
We don't talk about Bruno.
We don't talk about the other one crying because damn it, this movie starts out with
It's a true story. It's
a father,
a real Homeland Security agent.
a father who's seen a sign that had a guy say, "Hey, we can make your child a model," and he said, "All right," and they said, "Bring him here at this time." So he takes him there at that time, and they're like, "All right, come back in 2 hours to pick him up." And he said he thought that was a red flag, but okay. And he said he came back 2 hours later, and the place was empty.
Yeah. Yeah. But the person, the hero in this movie, the guy that Jim Caviezel plays, is a Homeland Security agent who quit his job to go chase down this one child. It was a little girl. The brother came to the border and said someone took his sister. And that's the story. That's a true story. And those are the best ones.
Dude, have you seen the last Rambo? That's what that's about too.
I haven't seen that one. Haven't seen that one. Like I said, I'm just now getting back into watching things, and I don't rent a lot of movies. If I see
had
it
a
on
really good
Hulu or
plot.
YouTube, or
It had a
something.
really, I mean, okay, so Stallone will forever be a strong writer.
Yeah.
Okay, so he wrote one more sequel. And in this one, I don't know if you remember in the movie Rambo, the last one, he comes home at the end. At the end of the movie, he's walking down the driveway.
Right.
Well, in this one, like, he's home. He's crazy. He digs tunnels to keep the PTSD at bay. And he has dug miles of tunnels. And he's got all these, like, there's all these immigrants that work the ranch. And the daughter wants to know why her dad never calls. And she's got a real beef with her dad down in Mexico. So she, like, sneaks off and goes and sees this girl she knows. So that girl can take her to see her dad because she knows where she is. And that girl sells her.
Dang.
Straight up sells her. So Rambo goes to get her back. And that's how the movie comes to play. Without that, you should watch it. I don't want to give you too many spoilers, but you know
Is it on Hulu or something? Or
it should be.
check it
But
out.
it's he's a little old for the role.
Well, I mean, Indiana Jones
But-
is almost 80.
Yeah, they computer animated a lot of
Everything,
it.
yeah, of course.
You know what though? No, I watched a real I read a review of Indiana Jones, and literally the last sentence of this man's review, and this was like in Newsweek or something, I can't remember, but it was like a high publication, said, in short, I wished I hadn't have watched it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
He's like, I should have left it at the Crystal Skull.
It's just like I'll never go.
Like,
I don't care how cheap the tickets are, but you're never gonna catch me seeing old ass Guns N' Roses or old ass. I'm not gonna do it.
they're just trying to look. I feel like they're just giving us they're giving Gen X our nostalgia so we don't break out into a war.
Yeah.
I downloaded the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade version on my PlayStation the other day. I've never been happier.
Did you see this shit on TikTok the other day, man? It was funny as fuck. Like, why is there no Gen X president? I mean, well, why? Why do you think we haven't had a Gen X president yet? Because 90% of us got felonies. I was like, oh my God. Like, dude, we basically roamed the fucking streets. Like,
But we
had no supervision.
we have a far understanding of how shit works than any of you, though.
Right. Dude, where do you think I learned? You think my dad taught me how to fucking put WD-40 and blow a tire back onto the rim? Nope.
Starting fluid.
We learned that shit watching some fucking dumbass redneck do it in his garage and was like, oh my God, that's the coolest shit I've ever seen.
Right.
The first time I did it, I thought I was dead. I thought I blew myself up. And the tire is full of air and it's on the rim. That's fucking amazing.
What are you doing? That's not how you do it, but it's how I did it. It worked.
Don't be a hater.
Oh, yeah. And Gen X in the military was better. Because you already got the antics, and we enhanced the antics.
Bro.
We're the reason you have laser guns now.
Like, there's all kinds of shit on Facebook and TikTok where it's like the millennial or the Gen Z kid, and it's like, who let Gen X off the hook? And then somebody from the Gen X generation would be like, nobody let us off the hook. We will fuck y'all up.
Yeah, leave us the fuck alone.
I'm like, that's so true. That's so true.
All right, man. Well, it's been a good 2 hours.
Yep.
Yep, we'll see y'all next week. I'm gonna dwell into some deep shit for next week. We're gonna talk about some things other than our usual.
Deep undercover.
Deep. Maybe I'll do some kind of weird experiment this week, like some kind of social experiment. Dude, I love talking to people, man. You know, we'll do this real quick, dude. I pick up people of all sorts all the time. And really, other than the really extreme on both sides, and dude, like, I don't like the extreme Trumpers. Like I say, you know how often somebody will get into it about Trump, and I'll be like, I don't golden calf people. What do you mean? I mean, there's people that can do a great job running our country. It doesn't have to be him. Though he does exhibit the ideals and traits ideal for the position and job that I want to be done. So it's kind of where my vote sways toward currently, because
There's nothing else better right now.
that's what that is. You know, and you know what? Even the hardcore liberals are just like, I can't beef with that answer, because that's why I vote the way that I vote. But people are generally good.
You could create a whole fucking TikTok channel just on the people you talk to in there. But you have to figure out a way to blur their faces out and stuff like that, and just listen to the conversation. But,
Right.
I mean, hell yeah, you put some kind of, put that webcam up in your rearview mirror and just record people all day long.
Right.
Make sure they know they're being recorded.
Learn to blur their faces.
And learn how to edit shit and pull your best conversations out of the day. Edit it up and put it on your TikTok channel. Dude, I bet you that shit would blow the fuck up. Remember
Right.
Taxi Cab Confessions?
Right.
Back on HBO?
Right.
Like,
That
that
shit
shit was
around.
fire.
Let me turn this off.